Hey there, welcome to our golden episode.
Yay, 50.
This is our 50th
right?
episode of Real or Rumor.
Yay.
Can you believe it?
Well, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to
Well,
you.
yeah, you look good for 50.
Yeah, and so do you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Lots changed in those 50 episodes, I guess. So, you know, we were talking right before the show that the table has moved.
Yes, used to be behind us.
Yeah, and it moved to here.
It was a suggestion from a viewer.
That's right, that's right. And then
they
what
needed
else?
something out
and then we changed some. We used to talk about 2 different topics per show. And it got to where our topics were so involved, we thought, oh, so we went to 1 topic per show. And other than that, I don't think anything's changed.
Yeah, my hair's pretty much as big as it was 50 episodes ago.
Yeah, I don't think the hair's changed one bit.
Your hair's not changed.
It's a little shorter, longer. You know, it moves around.
Do you remember what our first topic was?
Do you?
I do.
Oh, you wrote it down. Look at her. She's so good.
I do, and it's timely again 50 episodes later.
Yeah, and that was?
It is illegal in the city of Greeley to scoop snow out into the city street.
That $1,000
fine.
God,
so
that was one of our first. That's
still
so
true
funny.
today with snow on the ground. Keep that in mind.
But we had 2. What was the other one?
The other episode we talked about council having a 40-hour work week or not.
Oh yeah, the grocery store.
Yeah, the woman called
the grocery
City
store?
Hall and said, why is the mayor in King Soopers in the middle of the afternoon?
Wow.
Well, because
those were our first ones.
Yeah.
Wow, that's hilarious.
I know, isn't it fun? So, you know, it's just a good example, though, of people calling in, giving us ideas for topics. And, of course, we've had tons of fun in 50 episodes. But we also hope we've been educational. So ideas, things you see out there, give us a call. We'll help let you know whether or not it's real or rumor.
Well, that is so cool. Well, great. I'm glad to hear it.
Speaking of,
we've
got our 51st topic today.
Our 50th topic.
50th topic. 50th topic.
We're already over the hill.
Shoot. Okay.
We're already over.
Ready to move on here.
Okay. 50th topic.
Here's our topic for today, Amy.
Right.
The city has improved bus service for residents in Greeley and Evans.
All right. I'm happy to say this is true.
Yay.
So many times
Very
we
good.
say that's not true. That's a rumor. This one is very
This
true.
is a good one to be true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bus ridership on the Greeley-Evans Transit. That's what we call a bus system here in Greeley.
Or
get. G-E-T, get.
Yes.
Like get on board.
Yes, that's right.
It's kind of a catchy way to remember it. Anyway, Greeley-Evans Transit. The bus ridership is continuing to increase, and that's been a multi-year trend. And I'm sure the economy and things like that have had a play in it, but that continues to increase. On the fixed route portion, to give you some numbers, fixed route portion of the service, and that's bus stop to bus stop, so folks that are out around town, they've seen ridership increase over 5%. From 2011 to 2012, which, you know, numbers-wise, that can be a pretty significant increase, just that 5%.
Definitely.
For paratransit, now that's the door-to-door service. They have door-to-door portion of that. That has increased by over 9% during the same time.
Wow.
So they're seeing even more of an increase in that part of their service.
That's a great problem to have.
Yeah, it is, but it has necessitated them needing to do some improvements.
To take a look at the system,
and start looking things over. So they've been doing that, doing some analysis, public input, which is a big part of that. And one of the big changes that they've made, and this is current now, is on the fixed routes by increasing frequency on the orange route.
Okay.
Now I worked really hard to say orange.
Orange.
When I was sure, orange route. And the reason for that is it's grown so much. It had gotten to the point where there's a lot of folks having to stand, and there were a lot of people standing at the bus stops waiting to get on, and then once they were on the bus, it was kind of crowded.
It probably affected the timing of the route too.
Right. So there were all these factors, and they obviously were seeing that on a day-to-day basis. So, and that frequency of that, you know, they wanted to increase the frequency. So that's part of this improvement that they've done.
Right.
So what that means is that the buses are running more frequently on that route.
All right.
And it accomplishes several different things. It helps move the system closer to a grid system.
Okay.
So this is kind of getting into some of the bus lingo a little bit.
Right.
So this grid system
means.
And they're typically much more efficient.
Okay.
For the riders, and primarily by reducing travel time and improving on-time performance. So making sure that bus is getting to that stop at the time that they say that they're going to be there.
Some really good changes. Now, have these improvements, has there been time to see if they've worked?
Well,
or they're working?
Well, believe it or not, I mean, even they started this orange route change on January 2nd. So even since January 2nd, they've already noticed that there's fewer people having to stand, and you know it takes a little time for folks to get accustomed to it, but it's a much easier, faster transfers, which is great news for the riders.
Absolutely.
So they're already seeing those changes right away, and you know they're hoping to continue to see things as they go along.
Very good. What about some of the other improvements? I understand there are some security types of improvements going on too.
Not that it's needed, you know, there's never been incidents on the bus, but you know, it's all about safety and making sure that the passengers are safe, that riders are safe, and the drivers, you know, especially the drivers, they're the ones driving the bus, that they're safe as well. So coming up in the next few months, they're going to be adding 5 or 6 security cameras on each bus.
5 or 6 cameras on each bus. They want to be able to 5 or 6 out there, but on each bus.
Each bus is going to have several cameras. They just want to make sure that if they're seeing something, they catch it right away and that it can be dealt with. And you know, again, it's all about safety.
That's very good.
Because the buses are, you know, they're rather large, and as we just talked about, there's a lot of people on them. So one camera may not cover it all.
Right. Okay. That makes really good sense. How are these improvements being paid for?
Well, that's an easy one. It's being paid for by the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, which ARRA, or a lot of people know as that economic stimulus that came out from the federal government. So all of this is being paid for by that. Also funded by the economic stimulus funding is a new system where the folks back at the bus, they can monitor where the buses are at. It's kind of a tracking system. And you know, I don't know if it's through GPS or how they're doing that, but somehow they're going to be able to track the buses so they know where they're at, if they're running on time.
Which is a good customer service thing. You know, people can call and find out
And keeping track of the vehicles, you know, if all of a sudden a bus stops and it's not supposed to be stopping, you know, they can call into them and say, hey, is everything okay?
Just know about it sooner.
Hey, we've got a flat tire or whatever.
Some help out there.
It's just much more efficient and keep passengers and everybody moving along.
And that just lends to some additional security too, I would think.
Yeah, exactly.
But
this is the part that I'm really, excited about for the passengers, I guess. Along with that, and something that will be coming up not too far in the future, is that passengers also will be able to start tracking their bus using their smartphone.
Oh, so if they're waiting at a bus stop?
You'll be able to go on and you'll be able to look at, okay, where's the bus, or I see where my bus is right now, and it looks like it's running on time, or it's running a little late. It's running a little late. Okay, I have a couple extra minutes to finish up whatever I'm doing before I head down to the bus stop. I mean, it's just going to give people another tool that they can use to just, you know, make their travel on the bus even better.
I love that. I love that. And
Isn't that
passengers
cool?
are going to love that. It's very exciting to see a lot of that new technology
Of course, then I was thinking,
coming into our system.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. You know, I'm sitting on the bus. You could actually sit and kind of watch yourself drive around town. Like, let's see where I am. Yep, that's where I'm at. You know, are they getting it right? But yeah, it'll be
that's very
great
cool.
Tool. Yeah,
very
so
good.
This is cool. But again, they're going to continue to evaluate. They're going to keep looking at what the needs of the travelers are. They're very good about asking. You know, hey, what's working? What is it? There's drivers that are out there. They see and hear stuff every day, and they're listening. You know, they're taking that back.
And we have a lot of riders too who are very very not shy about coming and speaking to council, which we want them to do, and we want them to tell us, as you said, what is working, what isn't working. So we encourage that to continue.
And they're listening. So hopefully that orange route will do some good things, and they'll just continue to try to keep the system working great and as efficient as possible. If folks would like to learn more about the Greeley-Evans Transit, you can check out their website. They're also on Facebook and Twitter. Or you can just call them, and that number is 970-350-9290.
Very good.
So there you go. They're doing great things down at Greeley-Evans Transit.
Very good information. You know, I started my career at the city in the transit division.
Did you really?
Yeah, and so we're just kind of talking about, you know, all the things that have changed in 50 episodes of the show, but so many changes in transit since I was there 20, you know, plus years ago.
Oh yeah, and it just keeps going. So.
Very good. Well, thanks for all that great information.
Oh yeah, this was going to be a great opportunity for everybody.
Very good, very good. Well, you can, as always, watch repeat editions of this show on YouTube. Yep. You can also catch other editions on GTV8.
Right here.
Right here on this channel. Yep. And keep your ideas coming. That is going to do it for this episode. I'm Cheryl Aragon.
And I'm Amy Freeland. We'll see you next time.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.